Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday guests, including Blake Price, brought to you by Optic Foliar, the only lights-on spray with no damage and no burning to your plant leaves. Plant efficiency, nutrition, and results all combined into a single solution. Spray it, see it, believe it. That's Optic Foliar. Visit this Made in BC company online at opticfoliar.ca. Jim Benning addressing the Vancouver media. We'll have clips from that interview, that press conference in a matter of moments. In the meantime, we're joined now by Sekeres and Price's Blake Price, also the voice of the Whitecaps on TSN. How are you, sir?
Oh, he's in his car.
I'm doing very well. I've always been a little bit critical of your guests that have appeared in their car, and here I am being one of those guests. So I apologize.
And you are parked because I want to mention this, Blake. You are parked. Tell us that because you don't have your seatbelt on. So for the listeners and viewers
we get
out
a lot
there,
of text.
You are parked.
I am fully parked, and again, I figured that would be even accentuating the fact that I'm in the car, so I thought I would take the seatbelt off to try to improve the aesthetics.
There you go. There you go. Blake, your take, before we get into soccer, your take on the Canucks struggle so far.
I mean, it's somewhat forecastable. I mean, I think at best we saw this team as an 85 to sort of 90-point team, right? And now they're on a 60-point pace, so that's way below where we thought they would be. So it's worse than we thought, but even the best that we thought was maybe flirting with the playoff position, right? So, you know, it's hard to be too sympathetic to the cause that, oh, this is just such a shock when – really, is it a shock? Is reaching for 92 points really where this team should be after 8 years with this administration? You would just think that they would be talking about improving their seeding in the playoffs rather than, hey, maybe we get into the playoffs this year. So, and also when you look back to last year, guys, this is just a continuation of last year, right? There's nothing terribly new happening here. It's just a continuation. So, there shouldn't be a ton of surprises this year.
Do you expect heads to roll at some point?
I think that there will be something this season, but I think desperately this ownership and I think this quote-unquote meeting and this press conference this week or this morning is indicative of them trying to kick the can down the road to get to the end of the year so they can do something a little bit more clean. Of course, it gets really messy when you do it mid-season, so I think they're trying to avoid that if at all possible.
Couple of soccer questions here, Blake. How much of Canada's success in CONCACAF qualifying has to do with John Herdman?
I mean, he's a great motivational coach for sure. Tactically, I think he's, probably fine as well. He's pushing the right buttons. I'm not trying to take it away from the BC resident here. But let's face it, he has had by far the best talent pool of any head coach in the history of the men's program. So, yeah, does he deserve credit? Sure, yes. But let's face it, these players are unlike the depth, the scope is way better than what we have ever seen in the men's program, and that is the bigger indicator, I think.
Yeah, they can score goals. Okay, Whitecaps on Saturday. One-shot playoff game against Sporting KC down there in Missouri. I believe you're going to do the call. What do you expect from the Whitecaps after such a long break?
Clarification: I'll be on the touchline, as they call it in soccer, doing sidelines, and it will be Luke and Caldwell on the call for this one. And you know what? We have said time and time again when it comes to MLS that the hot team often fares well. We've seen it from the Galaxy. We've seen it from the Sounders over the last 10 years, where if you're on a roll headed into the playoffs, look out. And we've always feared those teams, or, the world has always feared those teams because, there's momentum there. So I think it would be wrong for us not to point out, as much as the Caps go in as the 6th seed, it'd be wrong to point out that, hey, if this was the Sounders, if it was the Sounders on this tear finishing in the 6th seed after the second half, people would be really scared of the Sounders. If it was the Galaxy, people would be really scared of the Galaxy. it's sort of that Vancouver sports scene, narrative that has us believing, like, yeah, you can be excited, but don't be too excited because they are still the six. You should be excited. I mean, this is a team that is certainly capable of an upset or two here in the MLS playoffs.
Blake, above and beyond, we've got to get to Benning here. Otherwise, we'd keep you for an hour. Thanks for this.
No, it's okay.
Thanks for this.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
See ya.
Seatbelt on.